I'm going to be very brief here and say this whole situation is on me. I feel terrible for Gerard because I put him in an untenable situation. I know that he has all the tools as a head coach to be successful in this league. He just needed more time before taking the job. In the end, I'm a fan of this team first, and now I have to go out and find a coach who can get us back to the playoffs and hopefully championships. We're open for questions.
Start with Dan Rose here in the front.
Robert, just when was the decision made? In your mind, when was it that you felt you needed to let him go?
This whole situation evolved, but I'd say over the last month, I went back and forth. And I don't know, in my life and my business, I make certain decisions. I know when it's right, and it just happened. And it was very hard because the personal relationship I feel for Gerard and the human being he is. And I felt guilty I put him in that position. But we're moving on.
Tom Curran on the left.
Hey, Robert. What will happen with, for instance, the personnel department? What decisions will be made with whoever the next coach is, having the latitude to bring in his own players, his own scouting staff, his own coaches?
Yeah, we'll wait till we bring that coach in. And he obviously, he's going to have big input on who the players are and who the coaches are. It'll be his decision. So
At this juncture, would it be status quo for everybody on the staff until an individual is found?
yes. We'll let him, look, we move fast, and we're going to let him make those decisions.
Alan Siegel.
Robert, I know that you don't make snap decisions, so I was wondering, at what point during the season did you sense something was not right? And if you could expand on that, what caught your attention that something wasn't right?
Well, in the important decisions in my life, I've always said I measure 9 times and cut once. And this was one of those situations. I guess the main thing for me is I felt we regressed. The high point of everything for me was winning in the Cincinnati game. And then in mid-season, I just think we started to regress.
Phil Perry.
Robert, how significantly has fan reaction to the product on the field and to Gerard specifically played into your decision?
Well, I'm the biggest fan, so I understand. And, you know, since the day we bought this team and I realized what a privilege it was and how lucky we were as a family, that this is the only business we're involved in where I see ourselves, we don't own this team. It's owned by the fans of this region, and we're custodians of a very special asset of the community. And that's why that helps me try to make decisions that if it was just personal, it would be different.
Andrew Kelly.
Robert, aside from yourself and Jonathan, who will be involved in the head coaching interviews, and what traits are you looking for?
Well, we'll have Alonzo Highsmith and Elliott will be involved, and we're going to try to understand who can help us best get back to the playoffs.
Robert, does that mean Elliott and his staff are going to continue on, or will the coaching hire also impact your front office?
We are looking for people working together, and they will be staying on.
Nicole Yang from
Robert, when you say that the situation was untenable, what about it specifically did you find untenable, and how will that influence how you approach this search?
I don't like losing. I don't like losing the way we lost. And I just things were not developing the way we would have liked, and it was time to move on.
Mark Daniels.
Robert, how big of a search do you plan on how big of a coaching search do you plan on conducting?
Well, we want to interview as many people as we can that we think can help us get to that position that we want to be in. So we have put out and requests, and Stacy will be filling you in on that.
Jonathan Paul.
Robert, thank you for taking our questions. Appreciate it. Is Mike Vrabel at or near the top of your list? It seems to be the talk.
Before I make a comment like that, I don't know all the people involved, and there are some wonderful people that we've heard about, so I'd rather respond to that after I've seen everyone.
Dr. Brigadier.
Robert, can you speak a bit more to the timing of this? Did Gerard know before the game?
Where are you?
I'm right over here. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. I was wondering if you could speak a bit more to the timing of this. Did Gerard know before the game that this would be his last game coaching?
No.
Steve Burton.
I know this was very difficult for you to sit down with him. How did he take it? How did he respond? Was he shocked by the news?
He was a man. Look, it was one of the more difficult things I've had to do in my life, because I had such affection for him, and I believe in him, and I really do believe he will go on, and as he gets more experience, he'll be successful. It was not easy. He was a gentleman and accepted it that way.
Quick Bedard.
Robert, this is going to be very expensive. Buying out a coaching staff, bringing in on new coaching staff, perhaps it goes to the personnel department. You also have $120 million in cap space this year, the most in the league. Will what you spend on this transition affect anything that you spend on players this offseason?
Yeah, the answer is no. We've always had a situation where we spend to the cap, and if we go over we have never told any coach or limited the spending. The only thing we've said is if you exceed the cap, we like to see it leveled out over 3 years. And, so that we never get way out of hand. But spending to the cap or above the cap is not, we want to win. That's our priority first.
Chris Gasper on the right-hand side.
Hi, Robert, back here.
Thanks.
How are you? You guys were told this was a multi-year rebuild, that it wasn't going to turn around in 1 year. You said you believe in Gerard, you think he'll be better with more experience, so why not let him get that experience here, knowing going in this was a multi-year process?
Yeah, from my point of view, I just thought we had a rough year last year. It was not 24, 23. And going through 2 years like that, and then seeing where we were this year, and especially the second half of the year, just made me feel we weren't going in the right direction. And I don't want to go through this next year, and we're going to do what we got to do to fix it.
Which Stearns in the very back?
Robert, is there one quality when you go through this search with a new coach that you'll be looking for over everything else? Is there one quality, in your opinion, that will help lead to you getting back to being a contender and playing for championships?
No, it's really a composite. I mean, you need someone who players can relate to and respond to, but they need to have a team around them that has product knowledge, in-game adjustments, knowing what their system is, just a lot of things coming together.
Robert, we saw Jonathan very animated during the Cardinals game on television. How much was he involved in this decision, and how is he going to be involved in this decision about who your next coach will be?
Well, for over 30 years, he's been with me in most decisions I've made in my life, surely business ones that are important. So he will continue to be involved with me.
Hi, Robert. Thank you for taking the time. I was just curious. We know that you addressed the team this morning. And a lot of the players were very on board with Gerard. They really liked him. What was kind of the reaction from the players in terms of this decision?
Well, I didn't get a chance to really interact. Believe it or not, we had some very important outside people coming here today on something unrelated to the Patriots. That's why we scheduled it this day a while back. And I spoke to them about how I felt about Gerard and what I tried to convey here today earlier.
A couple of final questions. Doug Cox in front row.
Robert, did you have any input with the coaching staff about how to handle the final game of the season with the number 1 overall pick at stake?
Did I have?
Did you have any input? Did you talk to the coaching staff about how to handle the game?
No.
Tom Kerr. This is the last question.
Hey, Robert. I get number 2. The personnel department this past year in free agency didn't really have a banner year, and also in the draft. And Elliott and some of the other individuals there, Matt Groh, have been part of the personnel department for a number of years. What is it that stands out to you about them that they should continue forward in the team building when the roster is not great?
Yeah. I think that the department evolved a lot, and a lot of things were changed. We changed our grading system this year and have done things. Our drafts have not been good for a while, and that's not. If you want to compete long term and be good in this league, you got to have good drafts, because those rookie contracts allow you to go out and get the people you need to surround people. Looks like we lucked out. We maybe have 2 quarterbacks. But I think we'll hopefully see a big improvement this year. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all giving us the time.